5,000 vehicles. That is the number Aptera officially put on their investor slide for the end of 2025. Before we talk about whether that number is real, we need to understand exactly how they got here. Because what Aptera has been quietly building behind the scenes is more impressive than most people know. The partners they locked in, the suppliers they sourced, and the milestones they hit all tell a story. All of it points to a company moving with real purpose towards something that has never been built before. But there is also a moment in this investor webinar that almost nobody is paying attention to right now. One name is missing from two separate slides, and that absence might say more than anything else on them. Let us start from the beginning and build this picture properly, because it genuinely deserves a real look. Monroe Associates is the first name on the partner list, and it absolutely belongs at the very top. Sandy Monroe is known to many people through his popular YouTube channel, covering vehicle teardowns and engineering analysis. But his real reputation was built over several decades working directly in Detroit with the biggest automakers on Earth. Ford, GM, BMW, Range Rover. These are the companies Monroe spent his career helping to engineer and improve. When a company like Aptera brings Monroe in from the very beginning, that is a serious and meaningful signal. He is not just a consultant who validates work. He is a process engineer who designs efficient assembly lines. Having him shape both the vehicle design and the production process from day one was a very smart move. The goal was always to build a car that is easy to manufacture at scale, and Monroe knows exactly how. This partnership has paid real dividends both in name recognition and in the actual design of the vehicle itself. When a car is designed with manufacturing in mind from the very start, costs drop and quality consistently improves. Aptera understood that principle early. That is not something every startup thinks clearly enough about at the beginning. Getting Monroe involved before the design was finalized meant every decision was made with production reality in mind. That kind of discipline at the start of a project saves enormous time and money when production finally begins. And for Aptera, where every dollar and every day matters, that discipline is not a luxury, but a necessity. The Monroe partnership may end up being one of the most consequential decisions Aptera made in their entire history. Next on the list is Maxion, a Singapore-based solar cell company spun off from SunPower not too long ago. Maxion is one of the world's leading producers of high-efficiency solar cells used in demanding commercial applications worldwide. They were also involved with Lightyear, another solar vehicle company, which only adds to their credibility in this space. For a vehicle where solar is not just a feature but the entire core proposition, this partnership absolutely matters. Having a world-class solar partner locked in means that the most unique part of the Aptera puzzle is handled. Most vehicles treat solar as an optional extra. For Aptera, it is the fundamental reason the vehicle exists at all. Getting the solar supply chain right from the start gives them a real foundation to build the rest upon. Maxion being involved is not just good news for Aptera. It is validation that the solar vehicle concept is serious. Then there is CTNs, and this is where the partner story gets a bit more complicated and interesting to follow. CTNs is a small Korean startup that has been tasked with designing the entire battery module manufacturing setup for Aptera. They are building the complete battery production line that Aptera then plans to move over to the United States. The important thing to understand about CTNs is that they are still a relatively new company with limited track record. In that way, they sit in a similar position to Aptera itself, both companies still working to prove themselves out. They do have backing from the Korean government, which provides a meaningful layer of financial stability and credibility for them. But battery manufacturing is a fiercely competitive space full of established players who already have scale, history, and resources. So CTNs faces real competitive pressure from above, just as Aptera faces pressure from every direction in the vehicle market. Two startups collaborating on something this complex and this critical is either brilliant strategic thinking or a significant calculated risk. Hopefully this collaboration turns into one of the great startup partnership stories, because both companies need it to work. Now we arrive at a partnership that may genuinely be the most impactful one Aptera has secured so far. CPC is an Italian composite manufacturing company with decades of experience working on some of the world's finest supercars. Their facilities handle body components for vehicles that represent the absolute pinnacle of automotive engineering and craftsmanship anywhere on Earth. That level of expertise and heritage is now embedded directly inside the design and structure of the Aptera body. Before CPC came into the picture, Aptera was planning to build each vehicle body individually using manual jigs one at a time. That approach is slow, expensive, difficult to scale, and ultimately incompatible with any serious production volume ambition at all. CPC brought a completely different manufacturing solution, one built around high-volume composite body production, done correctly and efficiently at scale. The result is a body that can be produced faster, with more consistent quality, and at much higher production volumes. Think about what that actually means in real terms. Italian supercar engineering knowledge is now part of every Aptera body. For a startup that many people dismissed not too long ago, that is a genuinely remarkable thing to be able to say. Between Monroe and CPC, the manufacturing foundation Aptera has built is honestly stronger than most outside observers have realized. These are not second-tier partnerships. These are world-class relationships that could meaningfully define how well the production ramp goes. Now let us talk about the parts sourcing update, because this section of the webinar contained genuinely surprising and encouraging news. Aptera has now sourced 97% of all the parts required for the production vehicle. That number is significant. Most startups at a comparable development stage are still scrambling to identify and lock in suppliers for critical components. Jordan, who manages supply chain at Aptera, has clearly done exceptional work closing out these supplier agreements across most categories. The closure system is complete. Exterior parts are done. Lighting, battery, and solar components are all fully sourced and locked. Those are the parts most people care about most, and they are completely secured and ready to be ordered. The areas still being worked through include interior components, certain thermal management parts, and some elements of the wiring harness. The interior design apparently ran behind the rest of the vehicle development for a period during the design phase. That is a little surprising, because most people assume the interior would be among the earlier things to finalize completely. For thermal management, Aptera previously developed a belly radiator concept that turned out to be too expensive to tool and build. They shifted to a more conventional thermal approach instead, which explains why that sourcing is still in progress right now. The wiring harness needing some additional work is also interesting, given that Yazaki was brought on board around 2 full years ago. Design changes to other parts of the vehicle may have required corresponding updates to the wiring harness layout as well. Either way, the remaining open items are only 3% of the total parts picture, which is genuinely encouraging progress. And there is something else worth understanding about how Aptera manages their supply chain decisions as production gets closer each month. As they approach production more closely, new suppliers are proactively reaching out and offering to make parts at lower prices. If a new supplier can deliver equal or better quality at a meaningfully lower price, Aptera is open to switching completely. This flexibility is very different from how traditional Detroit manufacturers handle supplier relationships and lock in production sourcing over time. Traditional automakers commit to suppliers for years at a time and almost never deviate from those contracts once they are signed. Aptera is taking a more nimble, Tesla-inspired approach, staying flexible and updating supplier decisions as better options become available over time. For a first-generation vehicle still being refined, that kind of supply chain flexibility could be a genuine and meaningful competitive advantage. But here is the detail in the investor webinar that deserves the most attention and is getting by far the least. On 2 separate slides showing Aptera's key industry partners and supplier relationships, one very specific name was completely absent throughout. AF. Not mentioned once. Not on the first slide. Not on the second slide. Not referenced anywhere at all. When a company omits a major partner from 2 consecutive official investor presentation slides, that omission is never accidental or careless. Companies preparing investor materials do not forget to include their important partners on slides that have been reviewed and prepared carefully. Something has clearly shifted in the relationship between Aptera and AF, whatever that specific change actually turns out to be. Maybe the partnership ended entirely. Maybe it was renegotiated. Maybe another partner is quietly stepping into that role instead. Whatever the answer is, the silence surrounding AF is deliberate and intentional. These slides were built carefully and reviewed before use. The conspicuous double absence of AF on both slides is the single most important unanswered question in the entire webinar. Most viewers watching the commentary will scroll right past this detail without registering its significance or thinking about it further. But when a name disappears from official communications without any explanation given, something meaningful is almost always happening behind the scenes. This is the open question that needs an answer before production begins. Keep watching closely for any movement on this front. Moving forward, the webinar also covered the Pi prototype build process in meaningful detail worth walking through carefully right now. Most major systems for the Pi builds are already on order and being readied for assembly at the production location. The target for completing the very first Pi prototype build is late July or early August of this current year. The question that has not been definitively answered yet is whether this first Pi will be a fully drivable vehicle. That distinction matters enormously to the community and to the public perception of Aptera's progress at this particular moment in time. Aptera needs a fully built, fully drivable vehicle that looks exactly like what customers have reserved to exist very soon. They need to be able to drive it publicly, show it at events, and let the world finally see it. A confirmed drivable Pi arriving in late July would be one of the most significant moments in Aptera's entire history. It would signal that the vehicle is no longer a render, a concept, or a beta mule with a body around it. It would mean the real production intent vehicle finally exists in the physical world and can be seen, touched, and driven. Aptera plans to build between 10 and 16 total Pi prototypes before moving into the formal production validation phase officially. After building all of them, every single prototype has to go through a full and rigorous testing and validation program. Beta suspension testing alone took more than a full year to complete properly. Pi validation will move faster but still takes time. A reasonable minimum estimate for completing validation across all Pi prototypes is somewhere between 4 and 6 months at least. Add the time needed to actually build all the prototypes, and you are already looking at mid-2025 as the best case. Then, the manufacturing facility has to be operational, and the first production vehicles have to start coming off the line. All of this has to happen while the production funding situation is not yet publicly confirmed or locked down with certainty. And that brings us directly to the number that is on everyone's mind: 5,000 vehicles by end of 2025. Let us think carefully about what hitting that number would actually require in terms of pace, resources, and flawless execution. First, building all 10 to 16 Pi prototypes needs to wrap up before the end of this current year. Then, full validation testing across all of those vehicles needs to be completed, reviewed, and formally signed off completely. Then, the manufacturing facility needs to be operational, and the production line needs to be running at meaningful output levels. All of that has to happen while also securing production funding whose exact timing and arrival date are still publicly unknown. U.S. Capital Group is expected to provide the production capital needed, but when that actually arrives matters enormously for timing. Will it land in mid-2024? Late 2024? Early 2025? Nobody sitting outside Aptera headquarters can answer that with real certainty. The timing of that funding directly determines when every downstream milestone in the production plan can realistically begin to move. If funding is delayed by even 2 or 3 months, every single thing that follows shifts by the same amount automatically. That is simply the nature of capital-intensive manufacturing at scale. When money does not arrive, timelines do not move forward. When you stack up all of the variables together, the math around 5,000 vehicles by end of 2025 gets tight. The most optimistic realistic scenario puts the very first delivery vehicle arriving somewhere around November of 2025 at the earliest. And that is the optimistic version of events, where everything goes right, nothing breaks, and all funding arrives exactly on schedule. Just getting the first production vehicle delivered to a customer before the end of 2025 would already be genuinely impressive. Getting 5,000 vehicles delivered by the end of 2025 would be one of the great automotive startup achievements in modern history. Even Tesla, with vastly more resources and experience behind them, found production ramp-up on the Model 3 extraordinarily difficult and painful. Aptera is a smaller operation building a vehicle that has no direct parallel anywhere in the current automotive landscape. The complexity of ramping production on something this technically different and this structurally unique should not be underestimated by anyone. This is not pessimism about Aptera or their mission. This is honest math applied to a genuinely ambitious and exciting plan. Aptera obviously has more internal information about their own situation than any outside observer or community member ever possibly could. They know their factory readiness, their funding schedule, and their supplier status better than anyone watching from the outside does. And they are the ones who chose to put 5,000 vehicles on the official slide for investors to read and consider. That choice tells you something real about their internal confidence level, even when the timeline looks ambitious from an outside perspective. But companies speaking to investors tend to present their best-case scenarios, because that is simply how the fundraising process works. Best-case scenarios and realistic scenarios are almost always different things, even when both are shared in complete good faith. None of this means Aptera is being misleading or dishonest. Optimism and ambition are part of what makes startups survive. If they were not deeply and genuinely optimistic, they would not be building a solar three-wheeler from the ground up. The question is not whether the 5,000-unit goal is worth aiming at. Of course it is worth aiming at. The question is whether the timeline attached to that goal reflects what is actually achievable given the real-world constraints in play. And the honest answer, looking at the math as clearly and fairly as possible, is that it will likely stretch. The first delivery landing in November 2025 feels like a reasonable optimistic target if everything goes according to plan smoothly. 5,000 deliveries by end of 2025 would require production execution at a level that is extraordinarily rare in automotive history. Even reaching 5,000 delivered vehicles by end of Q1 2026 would still represent an exceptional and genuinely impressive result for Aptera. But here is what matters more than any timeline debate, production estimate, or number on an investor slide right now. Aptera is real. The vehicle is real. The partnerships are real. The forward momentum is undeniably and visibly real. 97% of parts sourced. World-class partners locked in across manufacturing, solar, and composites. Prototype builds are imminent right now. That is a profoundly different picture from where this company was sitting even just 18 short months ago in comparison. The shift from whether this vehicle will ever exist to simply when it will arrive is an enormous and meaningful change. For everyone who has been watching Aptera patiently and skeptically for years, that shift alone deserves to be fully acknowledged. The off question still needs resolution. The funding timing still needs public confirmation. The PI builds need to actually start soon. But the foundation, the partners, the supply chain, the manufacturing approach is genuinely solid and stronger than it has ever been. That means the real conversation has shifted from possibility to probability. And for a startup, that shift means absolutely everything. So what is your honest prediction? When does the first Aptera production vehicle actually get delivered to a real customer? Drop your specific answer in the comments below with a month and a year, not just a general feeling or vibe. The current prediction here is November 2025 for the very first delivery and a significantly slower initial ramp beyond that. 5,000 units by end of 2025 remains the stated dream. Reality will likely land somewhere in the neighborhood of it. But landing anywhere close to that extraordinary target would still make Aptera one of the most remarkable stories the auto industry has ever seen.